This is Rachel Ruth Tate, the Astrology Roadshow, and the astrology of January 13th. So we had a full moon earlier today. I'm recording really close to the full moon just after. If you're watching this, listen to the Astrology Table. The Astrology Table is my podcast. You can find it on Apple or Spotify, recorded with Miss April Lehman, and it gives you about an hour's worth of info on this crazy full moon. I'm saying crazy because today's been big. So the full moon was full at 4:30 p.m. and the sun trined Uranus. That means the moon is also vibing with Uranus today. Shocking, changing. That sun trine Uranus, that was like 2 something in the morning. And if you're like me, because Uranus is all over my sun, I just woke up. I have not slept very much today. And this full moon was conjunct Mars. So Mars retrograde in Cancer, not very fun, a little bit emo, very past looking. So if you've been kind of wanting to understand emotional triggers or break down what it is that drives you, especially in ways that create frustration or upset, that is today. The moon was super, super active even before and after this moon. So the moon sextiled Uranus, right, because the sun trined Uranus. The moon conjoined Mars, the moon trine Neptune in Pisces, and the moon is making its first trine with the North Node in Pisces and a sextile with the South Node in Virgo. So there's lots of outer planet action. Stuff is weird, stuff is strange. If you are feeling just out of sorts today, or if you're feeling especially sentimental or creative or tired or frustrated or odd, that's kind of today. If something happens suddenly as well, like maybe there was an explosion of emotion, or maybe an emotional outburst, or maybe something where you just felt a little icky, because like Mars in Cancer can be kind of phlegmy, can be kind of like, ugh. Like this morning, I woke us up, myself and my husband, in the middle of the night because I tried not to sneeze. I woke up like literally, this doesn't happen ever, but I woke up in the middle of the night being like, no, I don't want to sneeze because I don't want to wake up my husband. And instead of that, after I stifled the sneeze, there was like this uncontrollable cough that came instead. And so I tried to leave the room to make the cough. And my husband was like, what are you doing? So that turned into a bit of an emotional conversation. Lots of different stuff. We haven't been sleeping well, particularly. Full moon is not particularly good for sleep. But, and also if that full moon is opposite your Saturn. My natal Saturn's at 25 degrees of Capricorn, and this moon was full at 24 degrees of Cancer. So it's like shining a spotlight on my historical emotional difficulties, and especially when I take on too much or when I take things too personally. And so, yeah, today, moon full, intense, emotional, maybe even like some inner child work, inner child healing, maybe realizing woundedness, a lot of like pain, hurt, kind of past stuff popping back up. But also, depending on your chart, this can be a good day. I was telling my husband, like, the way his chart is, this is actually good for you. You've got a bunch of Scorpio stuff. Like, this is not going to be entirely bad for you. And he is a relatively famous person, Chip Tate, legendary distiller, and he had several people recognize him just out in the world and be like, oh my God, hey, like, you are this famous guy, which is always fun. Some windfalls, some, partnerships, that kind of stuff. And maybe even just feeling like you, like the drive to work. With the moon full conjunct Mars retrograde, it's like, I need to do something about this. I need to take action. If I feel shitty, I want to do something to ameliorate, to heal, to fix. And not everything can be healed or fixed immediately, but there is the urge to. So if you are finding yourself in a space where like you want to move forward and you feel like you can't, that's just the time. And that reflection, right? The moon is full because it opposes the sun, and there's that reflection of the light of the sun. So that reflection can be in and of itself very productive and very illuminating, very insightful of the inner world, and probably of what this Mars retrograde story is for you. So know you're not alone for being a little emo babe like myself today. And that there's a lot of us who are feeling a lot, getting rocked around by those watery emotions, especially with the North Node in Pisces, getting pulled into it, because the North Node in Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter's in Gemini. It doesn't like being there. So maybe this is like hard information to hear or difficult something to understand, right? There's a Mars trine Neptune. It's kind of like, what is going on? Kind of look out at the world, right? Like, what is going on? It's a vibe. It is totally a vibe. So hopefully you are well and you get some rest tonight. If you don't, like I said, full moon vibes.